Yeah, so if you can't see already, I'm running this at about 100 frames a second. All because of Nvidia's new tool that they just released. It's still in beta, but it works amazing. I could basically play with this combination of shaders, resource packs, and mods on really high frames. So I actually used a bunch of these mods and shaders in one of my previous videos, and I will be going over that in a more in-depth analysis now in this video that uses Nvidia's new app to put your GPU to its full potential. I currently have this rendering at about 256 chunks away with bliss shaders and some resource packs, and then a bunch of other numerous mods, as you can probably hear from the sounds. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop straight into the video. Alright, so the first thing we will be needing is something called the Nvidia app. So it is right here. All you gotta do is Google Nvidia app, and it's in beta. As you can see, it is in beta, but you can download it, and once you download it, you can see as a little like hint over here, you have, the driver updates, the graphics, and that's the main thing, because that's where you overclock your GPU to be what you want it to do. So anyways, go ahead and download this and then set it up. It's really easy. You just click all the stuff yes, and then once it's set up, I will show you what it looks like. Okay, so I got it set up, and okay, wait, this is up here. I had the frame view on to show for the frames, but I do need to close it because it's screwing this up now. So okay, now that frame view is gone, you can see directly from the home menu, you can see something's changed, or this is new. You can see the settings, and you can just play your games directly from here. So like, for example, let's do Rocket League, or actually let's do Rainbow Six Siege. Actually, I don't really want to mess with that, so I'm gonna pick something random that I don't play, like Apex. And you can see my game is already optimized on this, but it's to the quality slider. So if I slide this down to the performance slider, you can see the next stuff you're getting is it goes from high ambient occlusion to none. It goes from TSAA anti-aliasing to none. Display mode, full screen, dynamic spot shadow, enable, disable. It just changes all this stuff for you and automatically optimizes it. And when you click update, it just takes a second and it'll optimize it. And it literally finished in like 2 seconds, and it just finished optimizing it. You can do this for every other game. You just gotta look at the stuff that you want for the current values and make sure it looks correct. But you can optimize your games directly through this and play them. So that's pretty cool. The next thing you can do is come over here to the graphics, and this is where we overclock. You see, here's this menu we were just in, and then there's global settings. And you can see all these things here. You have low latency mode, you want that on. You could also actually turn on ultra. I'm probably going to do that because that'll give you less latency. Your max frame rate, just leave that off. You want it uncapped. It says your GPU here, and it says a bunch of other things as well. But the next tab is the system one, and this is actually the one where we overclock. So here you can see, view my rig. It tells you everything that you have, your RAM, your storage, your driver, everything except for the GPU, which is over here. And you can see it shows everything that your GPU basically is like rated at, I guess you could say. And then we have this thing here called automatic tuning. And you could read the description, but basically it just makes it so that your stuff gets, plus. I already did it here. You can see I turned this on. It's literally just you just flick it and it works. It says GPU tuning plus 98 megahertz, and then VRAM tuning plus 200 megahertz. So you could see that, and that will just instantly give you a boost. I have run into 0 stutters in any of my other games. Minecraft runs at 30-40 frames higher with mods, and all the other games just run pretty good. You can actually turn the power maximum up even higher and the temperature up higher if you want to do that. And the voltage apparently as well. And then you can change your fan speed down here as well. But yeah, you just want to flick this switch. That's literally it. Just flick the switch, and then it'll do it. It takes, I would say, 45 minutes-ish. It takes a little bit of time. So make sure that you have this open the whole time. And then once you're done with that, then you can move over to displays. And my monitor actually doesn't really have that much more settings, but you do want to make sure that you're on, the highest refresh rate and this stuff. For the video, you can turn on super resolution. Some people like that, I know, and then some like the high dynamic range as well. It's not for me personally, but if you do want those, that is where those settings are. And then lastly, you have your drivers. Now, I need to download this one, but it does take a very long time for me to download them and install them. So I will be doing that later, but I'm on the second most up-to-date one, the one from August 19th, and this one was released on the 10th. So make sure that you are on the most up-to-date driver, and you probably want the game-ready drivers and not the studio ones, unless you are looking to, do a studio driver. But for most people, the game-ready one is the one you want because you're going to be playing games with it. So make sure you download the newest game-ready driver, and if for whatever reason it doesn't improve your game or it makes it worse or something, you know, you can always revert back. You can just go to the website and find, you know, the best ones that they've rated or anything like that that people recommend. And after you're done with that, you can actually close this, and then we're going to need to download another thing over here called Razer. I forgot the name. It's called Razer Central, and the thing you want is the Razer Cortex, but I think it's all in the same app, so you just come over here and you search Razer Cortex. Now, if you don't know what Gear Up is, it's basically a thing that a lot of YouTubers promote, and it is supposed to boost your game. However, it's not free. I was even going to try it and test it for like 3 days, but it's not free at all. You have to pay. So the Gear Up booster is basically the expensive version of this. This is free, and this doesn't require you to even have a Razer thing. You can literally just use it without a Razer. Like, you don't need a Razer mouse, you don't need a keyboard. Even though most people do have it, you don't need it. But the Gear Up thing is basically the paid version. It's supposed to lower your ping. I can't even test it though. I can't even give you guys like a real rating. I don't even know. It just costs money. So you're gonna come over here and download this Razer Cortex. You can see it says unlock your PC's full potential. And once you download that, install it, and then hop on over to it. So also once you close it is down here, you can see Razer Cortex. You click it, and then once it opens up, you can instantly see it'll pop up with a couple pop-ups, and you want to click, you know, optimize everything basically. So this one here says 25 items will be optimized. And so all these things here that it is basically saying I can optimize. So like sticky keys, like while in game it prevents it from popping up. Okay, I'll boost it. So you can see it's releasing the memory. I'm getting, you know, barely anything because I've already optimized it. But it does this every time you run a game too. So once you do that, you know, it'll do this every time, and it'll free up stuff and optimize everything, close, you know, apps that aren't really needed or suspend them. So this is the game booster. You also have the system booster over here, and I don't know if there's a difference between this and the Nvidia one. The Nvidia one overclocks it, and this one basically just optimizes it, but I just did both and then tried running a game, and it helped a lot, so I recommend doing both. So this is the boost. If you do want the booster prime, I believe it costs money, but I'm not entirely sure. I could do, actually it's free. I remember this now. I clicked on Fortnite, and then it does this quality thing. It doesn't really help me that much. For Fortnite, it's more of a CPU-based game, so it's kind of harder to optimize, but it did give me actually a little bit like less FPS, but the input delay was significantly better. So if you do play like Fortnite or something, you know, do that. But it'll change your settings, so I would recommend like not doing that if you have it all set up to how you want it. You can like optimize these games anything you want, really. Like Rocket League, I don't need to optimize. I get 1000 FPS in that. There's no need for me to optimize that. You could do speed up as well, and this one is the one I recommend. There's an optimize button here, and I've done 63 items already been optimized. So all these things here, I already optimized them. You can just click the optimize button, and then it will optimize it for you automatically. It'll do, you know, play animations in taskbar and start menu. It'll just turn that off because you don't really need that while you're playing a game. You can also do defrag and like select some of the games, and it improves game performance. I don't know about that. And there's also, you know, the MyRig thing that you can do here as well. So I already linked the mods in a previous video, but I'll just copy and paste the link. It's in a Mediafire. I don't really know. I tried putting it on like Modrinth and it didn't work, so I'm not entirely sure about that. But it is safe. As you can see, this is the stuff I put in there. It's just the jars, and then over here is the Bliss shader. You could look at that too. You could literally put it on virus total if you want, and it will not detect it as a virus. I actually believe if I go to virus total right now and then, you know, do it, I believe it should say, or let me upload like a regular folder. I don't think I need to compress it, but I might. And yeah, you can see there's literally nothing here. So there's no viruses. Some people were worried about that, but there's no viruses. You can see though, these are the mods. There's like some basic ones like concrete, which basically helps some stuff. Like, I don't even mean to hate on Gear Up or anything. I'm sure it works fine, but like you can go in here and you can click boost. You can click pin, game server region. It says minimize ping and packet loss, and for someone who gets 30 ping in like competitive games, you know, that's kind of bad. That's kind of not so great. Now for me personally, I noticed that playing in windowed mode, as you can see here, I'm in windowed mode, so I could do that. But if I play in full screen, I actually noticed that it does limit my FPS to an extent. It seems like it's worse. I don't even know why. So if you guys are having an issue with the FPS, try playing in windowed mode, like windowed full screen. It works really good too. Anyways, once you load in, you'll notice that your frames might be a little low. And if you're wondering why, it's because Distant Horizons is literally rendering in everything. As you can see, there's the mountain over there. It's rendering in everything currently, so that's the reason why your frames will be a little low, but then they'll go back up. So the thing with the F3 menu is that it actually doesn't display the correct FPS. Opening the F3 menu decreases your FPS. So you need something like frame view to be able to actually tell the FPS you're getting, because it does overlay it rather than being, you know, a feature in the game. And once you open frame view, it'll open, you know, after just a second, and you can see like 135, 90, 150 even at times. Anyways, though, if you're looking at this stuff, you can see that the leaves have some stuff on them. Everything just looks a little bit more, you know, in depth, I guess you could say. The resource pack I'm using is Nautilus 3D, and then the other one is Dynamic Surroundings, which makes like some ambient noises, and it just makes the game a whole lot more immersive. And if you play with music, it helps as well. And then the last thing is the Torches Reimagined. Even though it says it's for like an older version, you can get it. It just works just fine, so don't even worry about that. For the mod settings, I literally didn't tweak anything. Like, none of this stuff is changed except for like one thing, which is the Distant Horizons mod. Oh, here it is. It's in options. You gotta go options, and then it's this little thing here, so I completely forgot. Copy these settings. If you're on like a 4090 though, you can crank this up to like way higher and get way more render distance. You can't change this quality. It'll screw everything up if you're using shaders. If you're not using shaders, feel free to change this to whatever you want. And for the shader, which is also in the description, it's Bliss Shader Main. So here's the newest one. I have the newest one. It's called Bliss Cocapic 13. If I select it, for example, I'm almost 100% positive that it does not work correctly with this. Yeah, see, you can't see the Distant Horizons. This one's not supported for whatever reason. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. It does look like, it looks better. I'm gonna be honest, it does look better. But the fact that the Bliss Shader Main is the only one that works, it's like a specific one that's designed for Distant Horizons. You have to use this one if you do want Distant Horizons to work. And the little trade in quality with the water, I think, is worth it, because you can see mountains, you know, you can see the cherry biome, you can see whatever you want to see. But there are some settings for this shader pack that you're gonna want to do, at least if you had the same problem as me, which was it was very, very blurry in the beginning, and I literally couldn't find a video about it. So I'm going to go over all my settings to make sure that you guys make it look like as good as possible. If you're still having an issue after you go over all the other settings I'm about to go over, change this from hard-coded only to, I think it is, off. Post-processing, this actually does do something. For the anti-aliasing, screenshot mode on or off, it literally doesn't matter. You can do this if you want the noise lowered a little bit. I think it looks better, but you know, do whatever you want. Temporal anti-aliasing, you're gonna want to have it on. I found 0.20 to be the best blend factor, because if you turn it up higher, like 1 for example, as you can see, it gets really flickery and it's not pleasing to look at. Yes, it does look sharper in the distance, but it looks way worse flickering. And if you turn it all the way down, it just gets really blurry and doesn't look very good. I found about 0.2 to be the best on this. I didn't mess with the exposure, anything else except for the sharpening amount. I did put this on 0.6. Now you can crank it up to 1. However, if you do that, you're gonna notice a significant drop in your frames, and it doesn't really change anything. It looks the exact same. It just doesn't really change anything. So I recommend putting it on about 0.6. You can also mess with depth of field if you want it on. I mean, I don't use it. I just don't like how the ground looks blurry and then nothing else does. It just looks a little weird to me. So for the fog settings, this had a really big impact on my, not only my performance, but it did have an impact on the amount of blur that I was experiencing as well. You do want this to be at 1 if you're having blurry game, because the fog sharpening amount for some reason fixes it. I don't even know why, but I recommend changing this to 1 even if you're not, so that your clouds look realistic. But the cloud settings, you also want to set the resolution to 1. With the clouds, I have them set to 170, but I've heard a lot of people like 120. It makes it more realistic, I suppose. If you put it high, you can get them like higher, but at that point, you know, you can get clouds that are up in the mountains and they're above it, you know, they're not there. It makes it more realistic if you ask me. The density, I have at 0.5 and the coverage at 0.7, and then the rest of the stuff, I just have basically nothing. I do recommend having cloud shadows on, because it looks really stupid if you don't. So yeah, you click on fog settings and then you go down to the bottom and you click render clouds as fog. It will like cost a little bit of a performance, but with your performance, you know, things that we did earlier, it shouldn't really impact it that much. But if you don't have this on, when you go above like the clouds, also I was just about to go above the clouds and show, but can we just like admire the beauty of this for a second? admire it. Holy, I cannot speak today. Like, look at how good that looks. Even in the distance, you can still see it. Anyways, as you can see, I'm going like up above these clouds. It looks like it should, right? Well, if I go over here and turn this off, yeah, they basically just break entirely. I mean, you know, that's not how clouds are supposed to look, right? Okay, wait, I just realized I can see my shadow in the clouds. That is actually another level. That is crazy. Anyways, this here, if you can see this is a bug with Distant Horizons. It may not be as prevalent in the new one. Distant Horizons starts rendering the LODs there. Right down here, that's my world. So that is the bug with Distant Horizons. It only happens when you move like at a fast pace. So if you're using Elytra, it'll probably happen. If you're flying around, it'll probably happen. If you're just walking, you won't notice it. However, that might not be a thing in the newer versions of it. I am not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think it would be a bug as prevalent. As you can see though, the clouds, you have the high clouds, the high cumulus clouds, and then you have the low clouds. And I think 170 is like the perfect height. You could probably do like 180 or something as well, but that's what I think looks the best. I have no clue how loud that wind is in the recording, but I'm gonna go ahead and go back down to the bottom because I have a feeling it might be loud. But like when you're even just flying like this, it's so... Actually, wait a minute, I have an idea. Okay, wait, I didn't activate the Elytra. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. Look at, I'm flying with the Elytra. Okay, it's a little bugged in third person, but who plays this third person anyways? Even when you set it to like daytime, you can still see the clouds, and I believe... Oh, no, that's actually not a feature. Okay, I think might be the best combo ever. I'm like soaring through the clouds right now on my Elytra. This is actually crazy. And we have wind noises, and we have ambient noises, and I'm just up here soaring through the clouds on my Elytra. Look at this, is a crazy combo. What is going on? Okay, I'm hitting a nosedive over the water. Watch this. I'm gonna put some like ambient music over this, or like some good music over this that you'd see in an Instagram reel. I could 100% see that in an Instagram reel or like a TikTok or something, and it having like 3.5 million likes. Let me know if I should start posting YouTube shorts. I've heard that's good for growing your channel, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Oh yeah, and another thing is that if you have the more animations mod installed, oh, it's called not enough animations. When you have that installed, look what happens. Like you can see yourself climbing, you could see your hand open the door and stuff. Anyways, yeah, I'm like running well above 60 now. It's at a constant like 85 to 150, anywhere in that ballpark. It obviously goes down when I look at the water, and then when I look at like something that's not water, then it goes up. But yeah, this was my video for the more like in-depth analysis on these mods and the shader in specific, which is kind of crazy because, you know, you can see like I don't really know how this is possible. I don't know, that's a random thought. I don't even know why I thought of that, but it is kind of crazy how good this looks, and for the performance that I'm getting. And I only have a 4070, so if you guys have like a 4080 or a 90, you guys will be cooking on FPS. You could realistically probably even come over here onto like resource packs and throw like a Patrick's on. We're about to find out. Yeah, I mean, it's not great. As you can see, my FPS is like chilling at like 80, so I mean, it's not good, it's not bad. But you can clearly notice the difference. And this is the 32 times version, which is the only free one. So if free one, if you guys got like, yo, okay, this tree is kind of crazy. This tree is kind of, what is this? Whoa. I may be maining this resource pack from now on. I'm running this at 75 frames a second. Okay, see, this is a little trippy though. See how you can't, like, you know what I mean? This is weird. If you want a fix for that, there actually is a mod for this. I don't know why I didn't download it. It's called like phasable leaves or something. It looks like it's for Forge, but I think, yeah, here's the fabric version. If you download this, you can basically just like walk through leaves. Leaves won't like support you anymore. Oh boy, here we go. I need to install Kiwi version 15 or later. And after a second of it loading, we're all rendered in, and as you see, it still shows that there's a block of leaves there. You can break it, you know, but when you go to walk through it, you walk through it, you know, as you should. And it actually slows you down too, which is kind of cool. It's more realistic that way. So like, let's say you were trying to jump on a tree though. Alright, I'm in a Minecraft speedrun and I need to jump from here to this tree to the other roof to survive the hunters, right? Not anymore. You just fall through it. Except I think actually that was weird. That slowed you down. I didn't expect to do that. I wonder if you take damage. Oh, you literally don't take damage. Oh, that's kind of sick. You can literally just jump in it then. What the heck? Anyways, though, with that, I think that's actually gonna wrap it up for the video. That's really all I had to do. I wanted to come in here and explain the mod, and then also show you guys how to get extra performance. That Nvidia thing is completely new, and it'll really help low-end graphics cards. I've done it on a different PC that had lower end things, and it increased it a lot. And the Razer Cortex one is also pretty good. For what I noticed, it actually decreased a ton of input lag on my machine. Anyways, though, thank you for watching. I should have most of this linked in the description. I'm gonna grab the MediaFire link. As you saw, it was no virus, but if you want to test it, upload it to VirusTotal. It won't detect it as a virus. So yeah, thank you for watching. This is gonna be a little bit of a quicker video, but that's gonna end the video off. Ed Matthew.